Hi, my name is Coldbeer and let's start with Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. In this open-world strategy RPG sandbox, you will create and develop a character that matches your playstyle. Explore, raid and conquer your way across a vast medieval world where no two playthroughs are the same. You will raise armies, engage in politics, trade, craft weapons, recruit companions, and manage your clan. You will command and fight alongside your troops in first or third person, participate in huge real-time battles using skill-based combat system. You can also test your might against players from all over the world in multiplayer PvP, including ranked matchmaking and casual game modes, or host your own server. The only downside, according to Steam players, is that the game is very addictive. Just like potato salad, if you start playing, there is no way you can simply quit doing that. And yeah, I personally know a dude who played 60 hours of it in just one day. True story, bro. I would never lie to you. Hidden Deep. This is an atmospheric sci-fi action game heavily inspired by Aliens, The Thing, and even Half-Life. You will explore, climb, swim, scan, blast, and shoot your way through dangerous missions in a huge sub-oceanic mining and research facility. And you will meet many new friends here as well. They are so happy to meet you that they want to eat you. Yeah, I rhymed that on purpose. I am a poet. Look, there's more.
Roses are red, violets are blue. You spend all your money on games.
Anyway, you can play this game alone or in co-op mode with friends or your mother-in-law, but keep in mind that the game is in early access. If you buy it now and play it now, you can't legally complain about any issues and still look smart. So be careful and read the comments on Steam, you never know. Kena, Bridge of Spirits. This is a story-driven action-adventure game which combines exploration with fast-paced combat. Everyone who played it says one thing: if Pixar made a game, it would look exactly like Kena. So here you'll have to untangle the past as Kena, a young spirit guide in search of the sacred mountain shrine. The game emphasizes exploration. By searching every nook and cranny, you will uncover numerous secrets and rewards. The combat is fast-paced and the game itself is considered as a Souls-like, but just like in Jedi Fallen Order, you can change the difficulty to story mode and enjoy the game without dying all the time, which is nice. Remember, you don't have to prove anything to anyone. If you want to play in pussy mode, just do it. The game has above 90% of positive reviews and it is really hard to find anything negative about it. Eldest Souls. This is a Souls-like boss rushing game where you kill evil gods. Well, at least you think they are evil, but the backstory is that mankind imprisoned those gods a long time ago and now they are draining your world of life itself. To be fair, we brought this on ourselves, and now we have to repair the stuff our ancestors screwed up a long time ago and kill some gods. Or, more realistically, to die a lot. Game looks great, those graphics are true work of art, no doubt. The only thing I don't like is the name of a game. Eldest Souls are obviously named because of a genre, but I find it a bit annoying practice. It's like naming an action RPG game Diablo. Imagine: Path of Diablo, Grim Diablo, Torch Diablo, Diablo Arc, Diablo Quest, Victor Diablo, and of course the incredible adventures of Van Diablo. That would be silly, right?
No, that would be actually cool.
Oh, shut up. Dead Space. Of course, I'm speaking about the recent remaster of the game, which is a fantastic game just like the original Dead Space, but I can almost assure you that if you played it a long time ago, you won't spot any difference. I completed the first game more than 10 years ago, and when I watched someone play the remastered version, honestly, I couldn't see anything new. Yeah, the graphics now are shiny and beautiful, but it is exactly how I remember the original version. So the remake is a great game on two occasions. First, if you want to replay the game, and not because there is a remaster available, but because of the game itself. And second, if you never played it. In that case, I can assure you this is one of the best horror shooter games I ever played. Well, it's more like a thriller with a bunch of jump scares, but the atmosphere is amazing. The surroundings of the space station are made incredibly well and the necromorphs are really creepy. Be sure that your mental balls are strong and hairy. 10 cold beers out of 10. Maid of Sker. Set in 1898 and based on the haunting story of Elizabeth Williams, it is a tale about a young woman imprisoned by her father to stop her from marrying the man she loves. So, you have to save her. Gameplay is focused on story exploration and no weapon survival tactics. Oh, those are the most scary ones. A 3D sound-based AI system is the core survival gameplay mechanic. Hide, run, creep, trap and distract are some of the techniques you'll need to master to survive enemies with super hearing. As you progress, enemies become more difficult to avoid, to the point where standing still and holding your breath is the only option. Not for the faint-hearted, that's a fact. Killer Instinct. This fighter game has very positive reviews on Steam, so maybe that will keep your attention even if you don't like games like these. Some people even rank Killer Instinct above Street Fighter V because it offers almost lagless multiplayer mode, smooth gameplay and diverse roster of different fighters. Game is easy to learn but hard to master, meaning that you will feel comfortable from the beginning, but if you encounter a mighty sensei of this game, you will be crushed, along with your dignity. Nevertheless, the game will give you the feeling that you are the ultimate combat god and not some puny peasant. So, as always, if you have friends, beat them without any regret. They deserve your merciful fists of fury, and after that you can beat them in this game as well. Project Hospital. You'll manage your very own hospital. It's a serious business without any funny diseases or events. Here you will become an ace doctor, an aspiring architect and a successful manager all at the same time. I especially like the details of this game. How you put a microscope on a table, how monitors are lit up only when the doctor is using them, and many other similar things. You know how they say, the potato salad is in the details. Also, this game has great educational value. I've seen actual doctors saying that this is a very impressive title. Well, honestly, anyone can introduce themselves as a doctor on the internet, so take this with a grain of salt. For example, I am a doctor as well, but I can cure only one disease, your eternal boredom. For that I have a vaccine of good games in my entertaining lists. And speaking about this game, if you ever wanted to become an outstanding penis doctor, but the life ripped this chance out of your weak, limpy hands, this is your opportunity to at least take a glimpse at this glorious life you will never have. Eastshade. Nothing shady about this game, in fact it's hard to find some darker corner here. You are a traveling painter exploring the island and capturing the world on your canvas. Talk to the inhabitants to learn about their lives, make friends and help those in need. Visit cities, scale summits, unearth mysteries and discover forgotten places. Although as I always say, if you are used to killing stuff in games, you will find the lack of violence here really disturbing. You will find no enemies to maim, hack or slash, nobody to shoot, no dripping blood or intestines on the floor, and no usual possessed undead babies climbing down on the ceiling. So keep in mind that all this friendliness may really shock you. Play it at your own risk. Endzone, a world apart. A group of terrorists blew up nuclear power plants around the globe and plunged the world into chaos. Only a few were able to escape into underground facilities called the Endzones. Well, in the real world, if that happened, it would suck, but it wouldn't be a civilization-ending event. Anyway, this is a game. 150 years later, mankind returns to the surface and, surprise, surprise, under your command. So, poor humanity is doomed. I'm sorry, no offense. Okay, a little offense. Here, in an extremely hostile environment, full of radioactivity, contaminated rain and vicious climate change, you will have to prove your worth as a leader.
Good luck with that.
So you will have to build a settlement, gather and refine resources, send expeditions to forgotten places, and much more. People on Steam are talking that the game is really fun if you like city builders, but it has complex UI system and the lore part is really weak. Also, the game is really hard. Anyway, 77% of players who try the Endzone are recommending this game for you. Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon. Recently I played it for several hours and I was really impressed. This indie dark fantasy title follows the Eldest Scrolls formula to the letter. Here you play from the first-person perspective. You can use magic, shoot with bows or swing mighty melee weapons. And the more you use one skill or another, the more powerful it becomes. Literally, the vibes from Morrowind are here as well. If you jump a lot, you will train your jumping skill and later you can jump higher. If you run a lot, you will start running faster. If you fight with a two-handed sword, your two-handed damage will become higher. If you make a bowl of delicious potato salad, well, you get the point, right?
No, only left.
Oh, shut up. Also, you can assign various perks and skill points when you level up and create your unique character. And the game really rewards exploration. You can find many hidden items, boss battles, or even entire huge areas if you go off the beaten path. I left starting area with about 15 jars filled with brain and several tongs of a drowner. Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon really delivers in the field of items and various stuff in general. Like in Eldest Scrolls games, you can take items directly from the world and put them into your almost endless pocket. I did the calculations. If you really want, you can carry more than 100 hats. You probably may even become a hat seller.
From where did you get these fancy hats, boy?
Well, I kill people and take their belongings.
Alrighty then, we'll give you 1 gold for the fancy one.
That is a deal. Despite all that, keep in mind that the game is in early access and is not finished yet. Raft. Build a raft of your dreams and sail into the ocean. That may look like the whole point and story of the game, but your mission is to survive an ocean adventure across dangerous waters. And that won't be easy. Here, trapped on a small raft with nothing but a hook made of old plastic, you awake on a vast blue ocean totally alone and with no land in sight. With a dry throat and an empty stomach, you will have to gather debris to survive, expand your raft and be wary of the dangers of the ocean. So you can play the game with friends or with strangers, and obviously you are thinking about it. If you are really hungry, can you cannibalize your friends here? Well, I don't think so, but with the next patch, who knows? Megaquarium. This is a theme park management tycoon game with an aquatic twist. You will need to design your displays, look after your animals, manage your staff and keep your guests happy. Starting just with a few tanks and the most basic of livestock, you'll grow your aquarium to a glass metropolis filled with hundreds of guests and staff. The game features almost 100 different marine species, including fish, sharks, crustaceans, corals, jellyfish and other invertebrates and turtles. Also giraffes, elephants and even a Spinosaurus. Yeah, they don't come with an original game, but the modding community is huge, so you can literally have a theme park of extinct marine fauna if you want. Or you can mod the game yourself and make your own animal. Called Barotrauma or even Potato Saladosaurus is a preferred creation. Moons of Madness. This is a first-person, story-driven cosmic horror game. Here the scientific exploration of Mars meets the supernatural dread of Lovecraft. The story begins when the mysterious signal has been recorded coming from the Red Planet. Corporate scientists decided that it is of intelligent origins and started to build an outpost on Mars to investigate the nature of the message. And you are one of the maintenance workers on that station without any idea why it is being built. Well, the rest is kinda self-explanatory. Brown substance hits the fan and you will have to solve the thing absolutely alone. Don't expect it to be a flawless game, it is not. It looks way better than it plays. But for this price, it's definitely a good choice if you like slow-burning Lovecraftian horror titles. Lamentum. You will find an intriguing story with the best tropes of Bram Stoker and H.P. Lovecraft implemented. I won't spoil you the plot though, all I can say that this is an example of a game that doesn't hold your hand or penis. Here you can combine things to make new things. Sadly, only those things that are meant to be combined can be conjoined together. For example, you can't combine a tooth with a coin or a pineapple with potato salad because that is a blasphemy! The surroundings of the game are made very well and they are kinda creepy. Weird paintings on the walls, blood on the ground and intestines in the bathroom makes your imagination go wild. It is very easy to immerse yourself in this game and take it as a story from a book. But Lamentum is not only a story, here are plenty of dangerous places that are ready to kill you without any hesitation. Monsters are creepy, but if you have a sword or other weapon, you can easily chop them to pieces. Although at the beginning you are unarmed and your only weapon is your running capability. Sadly enough, I discovered that I can run only after several deaths.
What a shame.
Yeah.
Electro, the Neon Racing.
This is a racing game with 1980s retro vibes set in an alternate Europe. Here the Eastern Bloc did not fall, but transformed into a center of eternal wealth and progress. That is where the fame awaits you. Here you'll find no ABS, no traction control, no modern electronic systems, only you and a beautiful classic vehicle with super powerful neon lights. The more neon lights, the faster your car is. Everyone knows that. In Electro you'll have to race against 3 opponents. Show your tackling and drifting skills on 20 racetracks in quick race or 15 races in story mode, and also try out more than 20 cars. Also you can play it with your mother-in-law in the beloved split screen mode. People are praising a good race design and beautiful scenery, and the music in the game matches the surroundings really well. The only bad thing is lack of introduction to the story, and the game is quite short in general. Monster Hunter Rise. This is originally a Nintendo Switch game released back in 2021. Now we have this action-soaked game on Steam as well, and this version is obviously upgraded to meet our expectations. You will rise to the challenge and become a hunter, explore brand new maps and use a variety of weapons to take down fearsome monsters. That's what developers say, but I would change the word fearsome to airy-fairy, because those monsters are anything but fearsome. Although they are beautiful, I can't deny that. Each monster you hunt will provide materials that allow you to create new weapons and ammo. You can also upgrade your existing gear so you can go back on the field and hunt even more airier and fairier monsters and earn even better rewards. Of course, all of that is presented in 4K resolution with ultra-wide monitor support and unlocked frame rate. Even with a discount, the game is a bit expensive, but you can try the free demo version on Steam. Evil West. This is some sweet hack-and-slash action. Here you'll play as a cowboy vampire hunter and, hunt some evil along your way to salvation. Well, probably not. No salvation for you. I just said that because it sounds cool. Here you can battle alone or with a friend as you go through the land engulfed by myths and legends retold within the Wild West universe. You can evolve perks, upgrade your tools and weapons to make even more carnage, and fight through the story-driven campaign to make America free of vampires again. People on Steam are saying that the game is dumb and fun. It has a cheesy plot and cowboys punching vampires with electricity and flamethrowers. That is not what you see every day. What is the actual genre of that? Heroes of Hammerwatch. Almost 90% of positive reviews left by thousands of players is not something every indie game gets. Heroes of Hammerwatch is a roguelite action-adventure where you will encounter endless hordes of enemies, traps, puzzles, secrets and lots of loot. Levels are procedurally generated, so in theory you will never see the same map again, but we all know that they will look the same for you anyway. So because it is roguelite, your heroes will retain the experience gained from a run and will become more powerful as they level up. People on Steam are saying that the game is probably the best roguelite game ever, but don't trust strangers that easily. Satisfactory. This game is basically a 3D Factorio, but Factorio is being cocky about it and is never discounted, so let's talk about Satisfactory instead. Here you will defeat nature by building massive factories everywhere, expand wherever and however you want, without any annoying regulations we have here on Earth, because you are not on Earth anymore. All those animals and plants that live here are scientifically unimportant. They live to serve you and your factory. Here you'll find about 30 square kilometers, which is about 11 square miles of terrain filled with unique flora and fauna. You can recycle everything and make factories out of them. Build beautiful metal constructions instead of ugly nature. Cover the whole surface of the planet with your elegant conveyor belts and train tracks. Make that pathetic natural habitat disappear and make beauty instead. Be a true hero of the industrial era. Forgive me, Father. As the only one left with full senses, you embark on a journey in search of answers and relief through a distinctive retro horror comic book inspired game that feels as if it came straight out of Lovecraft's books. Well, honestly, if Mr. Lovecraft had the ability to make comics, they would probably be way darker and gloomier than this game. So here you will have to be aware of your madness level, which dynamically changes during gameplay and gives you additional power. You will choose your active skills depending on your playstyle and use them to fight against eternal evil. The arsenal of weapons in your custody is more than great. Various shotguns, cursed dolls, brooms, and even filthy creatures of the nightmares. All these will make your journey fun and way less fun for your adversaries. It is hard to be in a great mood when your body parts are attending a bloody dismantle party. The game is filled with hard-to-reach places and hidden areas, so it is really appealing for the old-school Doom and Duke Nukem players. Game is strictly single-player, made entirely for your own pleasure. Chorus. Here you'll unlock amazing weapons and mind-bending abilities. Along with your sentient starfighter, visit ancient temples, engage in exhilarating zero-G combat, and venture beyond our waking reality. Explore epic locations such as sprawling space stations and strange planes of existence beyond our own. Engage in dogfights from epic cosmic void to tight crystalline corridors. People on Steam are saying that Chorus is one of the best-looking space games to date, but will make you vomit on your keyboard if you are a victim of motion sickness. If you are in doubt, just download and play Chorus demo on Steam absolutely free. The Companion. With all these gore-infused games on my list, I was desperate to find something more relaxing as well. And look, The Companion is for sure a beautiful calm game that will be appealing for the fans of Journey, for example. So here you will play as some mutated fox with many tails and explore a magical spiritual realm. You will journey across 7 majestic landscapes and witness the emotional story of a family as they tackle the challenges ahead of them. Keep in mind that the story itself is a bit mind-boggling because sometimes you play in the future, sometimes in the past. Episodes don't have linear order and that may be a bit confusing. Anyway, if you like story-driven walking simulators with a lot of exploration, then it's for you. If not, just avoid, because all this relaxing atmosphere without any blood and carnage may shock you. Play it at your own risk. Dying Light 2: Stay Human. Playing this game while being sober was an act of heroism on my side. You know why? Because this game is scary and it amplified my anxiety levels. They went up through the roof while I was playing it. Speaking about roofs, most of the time you will parkour and climb on them. I played the game for more than 10 hours, and in those hours I spent about 5 minutes on the ground. I don't even know if the city itself is beautifully done. There's no need to go down, it's too dangerous.
That's what she said.
And you often bump into a dead end with too high unjumpable walls, and that is a bit inconvenient when you are running from a herd of brain-thirsty zombies and the level of your anxiety is melting your brain down. It's a fun game to try, but do not expect miracles. For me, the deciding factor to leave it and never go back was degrading weapons. You can kill like 10 zombies with one weapon and then it breaks, so you can't have a favorite weapon here. That is really terrible. I made a review video back then and gave it 6 cold beers out of 10. Now I'm thinking, because it's on sale, for this price maybe 7 is a more accurate score. Anyway, the price is still kinda high. Be cautious, read the comments. Stories Untold. This is a narrative-driven adventure game. It combines a mix of classic text adventure and ferocious point-and-click action. You'll find 4 short stories packaged together into a single mysterious anthology. The game is strong with 80s retro nostalgia. It is a classic text adventure formula enhanced by a few modern touches. Overall, the game is kind of a horror-ish experience. People on Steam are saying that even this game is short, it has a compelling story and also gives the Stranger Things vibes. Although for some people, a game-breaking bug sometimes occurs on the first episode. That bug has been in the game for almost 5 years now.
Ouch.
Anyway, if you are among the unlucky ones, don't forget that you can refund the game if you don't have 2 hours of gameplay accumulated. That stands for every game on Steam. But those bugs are pretty rare, because Untold Stories has very positive reviews on Steam. You may even feel bad that you paid this little for the game. Lost Eidolons. This is a turn-based tactical RPG with a cinematic narrative set in a waning empire riven by a civil war. You'll take on the role of a charming mercenary captain, Eden, and lead a band of allies through epic encounters on a classic turn-based battlefield. You will have to strategically station your soldiers in every battle to take advantage of their class and magic skills. Also lay siege to towering castles, overtake bosses with unique abilities, and fight creepy monsters that will force you to change up your tactics or become their next meal. People on Steam are saying that the game is more oriented to the veterans of the genre. It's too difficult for the newcomers. Also, people say that the writing is not top quality. Dialogues and actions have a lot of logic holes. The reviews are mostly positive, so the game has some issues, but in general, if you are hungry for something new in the genre, think about it. Observation. This is a sci-fi thriller where you will have to uncover what happened to the crew of the space station through the lens of artificial intelligence. You will assume the role of AI by operating the station's control systems, cameras, and tools. The game is blending narrative adventure, puzzles, exploration, and cosmic existential horror. You will uncover the true nature of yourself, your crew, and the mysterious, always present hexagon on Saturn. The story, horror atmosphere, and music is great, but the game can be a buggy mess if your gaming setup is slightly out of the ordinary. Also, people on Steam are recommending playing it with a gamepad. But in general, it seems that Observation is a great deal for the fans of 2001: A Space Odyssey and Solaris movies. I will say probably blasphemy that I liked Solaris with George Clooney way more than that Soviet film with Donatas Banionis as the main protagonist. Way more. Wall World. This is a mining roguelite with tower defense elements and a very affordable price. You'll explore procedurally generated mines and discover fantastical biomes, find resources and technologies, and purchase valuable upgrades. Fight off hordes of aggressive monsters using your mobile base and roam the world freely day and night in various weather conditions. Find traces of the others and boldly mine where no man has mined before. The game has a really fun concept, beautiful art style, and reminds me a bit of a Dome Keeper, another beautiful indie game. People on Steam are saying that the game has a great replay value and a bit of a boring ending, but this game is the journey, not the destination. Barotrauma. Here, in the not-too-distant future, humanity has fled to one of Jupiter's moons. With its irradiated icy surface, life can only be found in the ocean below. You'll travel through a punishing underwater world and discover what lies in the depths of Europa. Basically, this is a 2D co-op survival horror submarine simulator, one of the most casual genres, no doubt, inspired by base-building games like RimWorld or Dwarf Fortress. Also, it has a fun mode quite similar to Among Us. One of your crewmates may be a traitor. better. So, as you can see, Barotrauma has nothing to do with poor guys getting traumas in a local bar. Game has above 90% of positive reviews, and people on Steam are saying that this game is filled with stupid jellyfish and can be played by everyone with developed brains, meaning that it's not for kids, but you can play it with your grandma. Leaving Lyndow, another walking simulator gem from creators of Eastshade. Well, the predecessor, to be fair, with a more than affordable price, but this price has a catch: you will beat it in less than an hour. Leaving Lyndow is a peaceful experience with a detailed environment to explore at your own pace. The game is set in the first person, so the immersion is really here. People on Steam are saying that this is a great tasting experience before you play the Eastshade, which is, by the way, about 14 times bigger game. If you like Leaving Lyndow, then Eastshade will be like a major meal for you. The game has a very positive review score, beautiful graphics and great atmosphere. Try it out. And now this is it. This was the last video of the Steam Summer Sale I have made. If you like my work and appreciate all the long hours I spent by making these videos, you may support me on Patreon or by joining here on YouTube. Have a nice day and I'll see you next time. Bye.